Chapter 3. The Whispering Depths. With the horizon darkening and the storms off in the distance, a strange mist begins to roll across the waters, thick and unnatural, swallowing the wanderer and turning the ocean into a featureless expanse. The air grows heavy and thick with the scent of brine and decay. James and Alice stand at the helm, their eyes scanning the fog with the anticipation of something coming. The ship creaks and groans under the weight of the mist as the wanderer herself feels the growing unease.
The fog is so dense, we can't see anything.
Alice murmurs, her hands trembling. James nods.
No, this does not look natural. I believe we are not alone.
A distant whisper floats through the air, soft but unmistakable. It's a voice, low but sweet, calling their names from the mist.
Alice! James!
They both freeze. Neither spoke, but both knew the voice wasn't human.
We need to get out of here.
James says, spinning the wheel. But the mist grows thicker, the sound of creaking wood growing louder, as if something is lurking beneath the water. Something magical, but waiting. The mist continues to thicken until the world around them is reduced to an eerie blackness. A sing-songy voice from the water draws Alice to look overboard. Then, through the haze, she sees figures, shadows, moving in the water, barely visible, but unmistakable. The figures break the surface, revealing themselves to be grotesque, humanoid shapes with webbed hands and sharp, glistening teeth. Their faces obscured by long, tangled hair, but their eyes pale, empty, glowing unnaturally. Sirens. Alice steps away from the edge of the ship.
You can't escape.
One of them croons, her voice smooth but hypnotic, like a lullaby song beneath the sea.
Come to us. Join us in the depths.
Alice's heart races.
No! We won't fall for it!
As she's pulling at the ropes, preparing the sails. But the sirens sing louder, their voices weaving together in a haunting chorus. The ship begins to shudder, as though being tugged towards the water. James grips the wheel tighter, but the current seems to press in, pushing them towards the creatures.
Listen to us, child.
One of the sirens whispers, her voice soothing.
We know your desires, your fears. You long for what's beneath. We can give you peace.
The tune starts to get to our sailors. Alice feels the pull, the yearning to listen, to step into the water where they promised secrets, treasure, and peace. She takes a step forward. James shouts after her.
No! Don't listen to them. Don't get in the water, Alice.
She continues to take another step, but stumbles over the rope she's working on. With a shake of her head, she snaps out of the trance, turning and grabbing a harpoon from the ship's deck.
James! We need to fight back!
James also grabs a harpoon, charging towards the port side of the ship to fight off the sirens. The harpoons splash into the water, the sirens hiss, retreating into the depths. A slight breeze is felt, and the mist begins to dissipate, and the sirens vanish into the dark ocean, leaving only the ripples in the water. For a moment, there's nothing but silence.
Did we scare them away?
Alice asks, breathlessly, staring into the now clear water. James nods slowly.
We did, but this place, it's got a bad presence. I don't think we're out of danger yet.
The calm that follows the sirens' attack is deceptive. The mist, though thinning, stretches endlessly. The sun now dimmed behind an unspoken cloud, finally producing some light. James and Alice navigate cautiously, their sails billowing under an unnatural wind now. Then, just as the tension reaches its peak, the mist shifts once again, but this time, it forms into a visible shape, a massive, jagged rock formation that rises out of the sea like the spine of some forgotten creature.
There!
Alice says, pointing.
An island! But I've never seen it on any map!
I don't think it's meant to be found. Maybe it has some forgotten treasure.
James delightfully recants. They make their way toward the island, the water growing shallower as they approach a cove. The shore is covered in dark, twisted trees, their limbs stretching out like skeletal fingers. It feels wrong. Reaching the shore and stepping onto the sand, Alice looks around. The place is eerily silent. There are no animals, no birds, no signs of life beyond the gnarled trees. The air feels denser, thick with forgotten voices. James leads the way into the depths of the island, where the trees are growing into a large, crumbled structure, a temple, half sunken into the earth, overgrown with vines. But as they step closer, they hear it, a low, mournful moan coming from inside the ruins.
What is that?
Alice whispers.
I don't know, but we're probably going to find out if we want any treasure.
James says, his voice steady, but his eyes alert. Inside the temple, the walls are covered in a strange carving and murals depicting monstrous sea creatures and lost sailors. But as they move deeper into the heart of the ruins, they find the source of the sound. Dozens of figures, their eyes closed, their bodies bound to the stone with chains of seaweed.
They were cursed.
Alice breathes, her eyes wide with horror. James takes a step back, his hand instinctively reaching for his sword.
Maybe we should get out of here instead. This place, I don't think it's just an island. I think it's a trap.
Just as they turn to leave, the ground shakes, and a voice rumbles from the walls themselves.
Welcome to the island of lost souls.
The tremors intensify, and the temple's walls begin to crack. The spirits bound to the stone let out an amazing wail, their faces twisting in torment. Alice's voice shakes as she calls out,
James, we have to run!
but the entrance is sealed, the path they came through now completely blocked by collapsing stone. The air grows colder, still as something rises from the depths of the temple. An enormous figure, half man, half beast, with glowing yellow eyes and dark scales like the creatures they've faced before. It's massive, towering over them, with serpentine arms shooting out, trying to grab them. James draws his sword, ready to fight.
We really shouldn't fight this thing. We have to break the curse. Alice, I'll hold it off. See if you can break the curse. Hurry!
But before they can even react, the creature speaks in a voice like the roar of thunder.
You were not the first to come seeking treasure, and like all those who came before you will fail too.
The walls begin to close in around them, but Alice spots something, a glowing symbol in the floor at the center of the temple. It's a sigil, etched in gold, pulsating with energy.
There it is!
She exclaims, rushing towards the symbol.
We need to activate it! That should break the curse!
James holds off the creature, keeping it distracted, while Alice slides to the sigil and presses her hand against it. The floor trembles, and the light from the symbol spreads across the room, consuming the creature in its golden glow. With an earth-shattering roar, the creature disintegrates into dust, and the temple begins to collapse in on itself. The walls begin to crumble, and the chains that bind the spirits fall to the ground, their anguished wails fading into the silence, and they turned into dust. Alice and James climb through the wreckage, barely making it out as the temple sinks beneath the surface, disappearing into the deep. They make their way back to the Wanderer, climbing aboard, panting, soaked, and exhausted, as the last remnants of the cursed island vanishes behind them. James looks to Alice.
What just happened?
Alice, her eyes wide, still coming to terms with the event.
I pressed the sigil, then everything collapsed. But I fear we've just set something free that should have stayed locked away.
The horizon stretches before them, the sun fading into a red hue. James looks to Alice.
Well, at least the sky is red. Red sky at night is a sailor's delight.
And with that, they prepare for their night's sleep.